don't take the worst picture ever of me on Facebook. Oh my gosh.
Those
but, like,
thumbnails are cruel.
Yeah. Cruel, unyielding.
Yeah.
Do you have yours in?
It's in my pocket.
Oh, so no one can hear you. Oh. Facebook.
No, on TikTok.
Oh, are we mic'd in on TikTok today? Oh,
yeah.
Great. So, that's probably
Hello.
strange. Alright,
now they can hear me on TikTok.
I am freaking tired, man. I don't know about you, but
Me
I am
too.
so exhausted. It has been a mission.
It has totally been a mission.
Lately.
Hit my mark real quick.
There you go.
You can scooch over more a little bit. Just a tiny bit. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
All right. We are very tired. We are sorry. It has been exhausting, but it's also like good, right? Because there's been so many things that have been happening, and that's just allowing for more and more things to be open. But it's really tiring at the same time to go through all of those changes. So.
Well, yeah, when we were well rested, we were hoping for a change, and then, you forget that with change comes a lot of hard work, and a lot of hard work is tiring sometimes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's totally worth it. So it's like a tired, but it's like a satisfied tired.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still tired.
Yeah.
It's sort of like when you feel really good after working out, later in that evening, you're just like physically tired, but you feel good. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Kind of.
Yeah. So that's just kind of where we've been. But if you're joining in, I am Lyra Moon, and this is my wonderful, amazing partner in crime, Lynx Vega.
I was accidentally had a premonition yesterday. I craved a donut. And we ate a donut yesterday. Today is donut day. How crazy is that?
No, you're so psychic, except with delicious things. And you brought us a donut, and that donut was awesome.
Yep.
I was very happy. Riley, no barking. Yeah, so I'm just not at my usual energy level. I just feel tired. All right, guys. Today is free readings. Today is whatever is on your guys' minds.
Wait, let's talk about you for a second.
Talking about
this
me.
is the first time we've gotten back to everybody since everything.
All the things.
What's going on?
Yeah, so at this point, I was discharged from the hospital on the 4th, and we just ruled out a bunch of different possibilities and potentials. Did lots of blood work and a CT, and it all just kind of came back with negative, which is good, but it still leaves us without any answers just yet. So, I don't know, it's kind of like a mixed bag of feelings.
That explains a lot of the tiredness, too.
Yeah, just overall in general, just tired. It's been a draining couple of days in the hospital. You don't really get much sleep in the hospital, and then trying to recover after that. Still have to get so many mountains moved. Had a hearing in the middle of the hospital visit, so that was really draining. It's tiring. So I wonder if you guys are feeling the same way, if you're feeling drained. I know that this Gemini energy is like getting so many multiple things done so quickly when you feel like you've got like no energy to do it. And then last night we had the new moon in Gemini, and we did some Gemini rituals. I wonder how you guys did, if you guys wrote anything down, if you wanted to manifest anything specific. For us, we're working on manifesting like adaptability and stronger communication, I would say. That's kind of where we're aiming, and better health. For sure.
Yeah. I used to be physically active all the time. And then, it's one of those things where, like, once you start, it's weird. Like, when you work out a lot, it's easier to prioritize working out because it's just something that you do. And then you just kind of, like, you start needing extra time, and you're like, okay, well, what can I start cutting? Well, there's just a few things. It's not like you can cut, it's not like you can cut any of your other responsibilities. That becomes your recreational thing, and everyone knows that once you start running out of time, things have to be cut, and then suddenly you start prioritizing it less and less, and then before you know it, you're like, oh wait, I used to do that all the time, and then it's like, oh, it's a chore to do that now. What if you had just kept with your routine? You would have been it's so much harder to start again than to just maintain.
Yeah, it absolutely is. That's the same philosophy as what I was saying to one of the people that I met in the hospital, is that like we don't, oh my gosh, I'm like totally drawing blanks. I'm just really tired today. I'm more tired than I thought I would be. I don't even remember what I was
just like maintaining routines and like just sticking with the things, like getting into like, I'm gonna do this thing, and especially with exercise, specifically the one for me is, it's like the best thing we can do for ourselves, but it's the easiest thing to just be like, nah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was. I told her, it takes 10 times longer to put yourself back together than it does to fall apart. It's the same exact thing, of having to look at things from a different point of view. Because if you completely allow yourself to go to that broken, fallen to pieces place, it is so much harder to figure your way out, because it takes a while to figure out that you're even there to begin with, and that things all around you have changed, and it's not the things that have changed, it's you. So that's definitely a challenge, I would say there's a couple of weird things that we've noticed in Gemini season, and I'd love to know if you guys have noticed these things too. My hair has grown, like, I swear, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 inches. So has Lynx's. My fingernails have grown insanely long.
It's like, look at that. It's all the way, like, look, that's crazy.
It's
like on
2 weeks ago. Look at that, yeah.
Film,
I'm like bunning mine because it is so long. It's so much longer than it was like 2 weeks ago. So I'm wondering if you guys have noticed that. I feel like we've aged, like we somehow like jumped through a time warp or something.
Like, the other day I was like looking down at my hair, and I was like, I feel like Rip Van Winkle. What the heck happened? Like, what is...
I'm looking at myself in the mirror going, what's up with these bags on my... Oh my gosh, there's bags under my eyes. When did that happen? So it's interesting too, noticing signs of aging. But also I would say that since Gemini season, that's when my legs started to hurt. And it changed from being just my feet to going up my body. And I just thought that was so interesting, because I'm like, that's the first day of Gemini season, which is all about duality. And we have Jupiter in the mix that's coming into Gemini season, which will be there for a year. And, about a year. And because of that, Jupiter comes and expands everything that's a part of duality, right? I'm like, oh my gosh. So all of these things are happening in such a degree, in such a way, I feel very connected to the astrology of it all. But I thought that was a really interesting thing that we've noticed. We've also noticed it too with our corgi, and we've even known a couple people that we're close to who have gone and gotten haircuts. It's just interesting, because it's all of a sudden. So that's something that we noticed that was kind of strange. Now today is the 7th. So I was talking to you guys a couple days ago about the numerology of things, about like how you can really understand how like the basis of a theme of what you're likely to experience, or some things that you may find in common with that number of that date. So if you're talking about, like, for example, for me, so the 31st of May, which in numerology would be 3 + 1, which is 4. So the 4th, we were solidifying foundational decisions in order to go to the hospital, in order to, make the choice to go to the emergency room and get this thing looked at. Like, despite what the cost may be, or if, like, whatever the case, like, it was at that point that I was in so much pain that I was like, I think we need to go in. And, then we ended up working really hard, and we found, a hospital nearby that took our insurance. And, so it was all of these foundational steps. Then on the first, after they admitted me that night, it was a new beginning, a whole new beginning. The first, number one, standing up for yourself. This is also starting on a new path, embarking on a new journey, carrying the wisdom from the previous days to you where you are now and on the first. And then the second, we were, as a partnership, we were talking about plans and future prospects. We were also bonding that day because she came to visit me in the hospital, along with my dad. So that was really, we had bonding, we had companionship, we had camaraderie, we had, a team-like setting. And on that day, I was also focusing on helping, or not helping, but rather figuring out more like possibilities of what could be going on with me to the doctors. Then on the third, we have a day that is all about like really being on a team and really working with your communication skills, being able to express yourself and give, and also have active listening happen too. So you're also starting to pay more attention. I was starting to pay a lot more attention to the way that I communicate and where my weaknesses are, and that sometimes I trip over my words, and starting to kind of look at those things that, maybe I could find new ways to do better. And then I went on, online and started learning about different ways to become a better communicator. So then on the 4th, which is another foundational day, I left the hospital, which also represents home. Number 4, it takes 4 walls to build a room. It takes 4 walls to build a home. So we have that as a solid base for number 4 numerology. So I went home that day. So it's just interesting. You can kind of get to know the themes and understand the just basics of numerology. Then you can really tie together some of the overarching themes of what you might experience on any given day. So I would, if you're ever interested, just to like have, because I can tell you that having that along with having astrology and tarot has been such a relief in being able to figure out like how to remain chill in the face of all the crazy that just constantly gets wailed upon you, like all the time. Like, I mean, realistically, just all of it just happens all the time, right? So because of that, I want any tool in my toolkit that's going to give me the ability to just have like some sort of pre-understanding of what I'm going to experience, at least to some varying degree. Because then that can allow me to keep my chill, that can allow me to keep my calm, and then I'm the one navigating. I'm in that feeling of the seat of control, in a sense that I have awareness. So awareness, I don't know, it doesn't necessarily equate to control, but it's more of I have control over me. I have control over my actions and how I'm going to steer my own ship, because I have the awareness of what I may experience that day. That feels a heck of a lot better than going into that day going, oh my God, I must have woken up on the wrong side of the bed, which by the way just attracts more of it. So it's like, I don't know. I find it really interesting how I'm literally writing the book on what each of these days represent for us. It's been pretty wild.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like anything else. So it's like if you could like slip yourself like a note and be like, psst, hey, guess what? It's like, insert name here is really gonna piss you off today. We're really gonna push your buttons, gonna get under your skin. Then you'd be like, a conflict. And you'd be like, okay. So then when if something happens, then you just kind of like laugh at it because it's good. But if that person just kind of like sneaks in there and you get caught off guard and you're like, they're such a bitchy. Mm-hmm. You're like, But if you're just like, they're gonna be.
Yeah.
Then you can just kind of relax.
Yeah.
Let go.
Then like if it ever lands on a 5, that's going to be a transformational day. So that's going to be a day that's like the Tower. You could have, thunderbolts. You can have conflicts. You could have deep transformational conversations that are life changing, or something chaotic can happen. Because if you think of how the number 5 is actually shaped, that's chaos, right? It's a line. It's down. it's a big loop, and then it ends. Like, it's all chaos. It's madness in itself.
It's always been my favorite number.
I know.
You always say
but
that
it's
number.
madness, and I love the number 5. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, that's my life path is a number 5. So, like, I'm so good with 5, but at the same time, like, I'm not going to ignore how crazy it is. It's you know, it's got its ups and it's got its downs, and that is pretty rad. So it just means that wherever you go, you're going to have a lot of transformative energy that comes to you that day. So, which we did. We had a huge conversation that day, with, you know, some other people. So that was a really, really big, important day. You know, so there's just moments like that you can kind of assess, all right, well then I've got myself in check. I know how to deal with it. I know how to handle it. All right, so what's going on?
Yeah, so there's a couple of people who've been hanging out with us for about 15 minutes on TikTok. Rosemarie says, "Hi, Lyra."
Hey, honey.
Said, "I understand the tiredness."
Yeah, it's been rough.
Yeah,
For certain.
And then Sweet Tea said, "Hopefully you'll find what's wrong."
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
Jess Leanne said, "Hi, I love the energy you guys have."
Thank you, even though we are so tired. Appreciate it.
Hey, it's kind of like that like half loopy energy is kind of fun too.
Right?
Know?
It's like drunk without having a drink. That's all good. I'm good with that.
There's like an English term for that.
Slap happy?
Kind of like that.
Yeah. Delirious?
Yeah.
Slap happy. I like slap happy better. That makes me feel more happy.
Rosemary said, I hate going to the hospital. I only go if I truly have to.
Oh, yeah. And honestly, I have never in my life, like Southern California, my heart goes out to you because I know what the healthcare system is like out there. And it's rough because there are so many people. It means that, you know, it means that there's just, it's harder to get the kind of care that you may need at times, and that's because the healthcare system is so overrun. So like my heart goes out to those people, and my heart goes out to the people that you know are in those systems, because it's really difficult, and it was totally different than the experience that I had out here. I have had nothing but positive experience in every healthcare situation in Northern California than I've ever seen in Southern California. I never knew that this type of care was possible, to be perfectly honest. So, you know, I don't typically enjoy going to the hospital, but this particular hospital, it was quite a hoot. I would say that the staff was really great. They were really, really great, really fun, really kind, really compassionate, and that was really cool. So it made the whole experience just fly by, which was just awesome. So I also wanted to let you guys know that whomever we're gonna announce it at the end of the live, or no, I'm sorry, I'm gonna put an announcement on each of the platforms letting you guys know who's won the free 15-minute reading, and that's gonna be for those who stay all the way clear to the end of the live, and we're gonna take some notes on who all is remaining, and we'll you know, we'll go ahead and announce someone after that. And today we'll be reading Lupe's free 15-minute reading that she won a couple weeks ago. So that's going to be happening after this too. Yeah.
So Jess and Rosemarie shared the live video.
Thank you.
And then Jess Leanne said, "I'd love to get a reading if possible." And Rosemarie also said, "I would like a read. Is there a specific question I need to ask?"
You can ask whatever you want. I just say the best thing to kind of, just one thing to know is that when it comes to life and death questions, those are typically the ones that I have seen be the hardest to answer, because guides don't necessarily want to answer questions about either subject.
Ashley,
too much of a group.
Ashley also says, "Do you do pregnancy readings?" So now is a good time to answer
I would
that
say,
question too.
I mean, I do, but at the same time, those are the ones I mean. So like pregnancy readings and like when is a loved one going to pass on, those types of questions are usually the most hardest to predict that I have found. So I don't mind doing it, but just kind of like a little disclaimer about it beforehand, just because it is I've seen it be weird. So I guess that's just like the heads up I would say about it.
All right. So while
But yeah, any
everybody's
question,
ready for their
go ahead and
questions,
throw
I'm
them
gonna
out.
check
Whatever you guys
what else we
want
got here.
to look into.
Um,
I wonder how everyone's week has been. Was it crazy? Do you feel drained? Have you been learning a lot?
On Facebook, we got Rianne says hi.
Hey, Rianne.
Exclusive K says hello.
Hello, exclusive.
Grace says hello, lovelies, from me
Hey,
and
Grace.
Saphira. Hello, that's a cool
You both
name.
are there. Awesome. Hi, Saphira.
I love that name.
It's a very pretty name.
Hope you're feeling better.
Thank you. Yes, yes. Better, but tired. I mean, yeah, for the most part.
Daryl has a question. He can be our first question.
Okay.
I'll read his question in a second. Rianne said, I have noticed my hair has grown too. I was actually saying today, it just seems like this week my hair has grown an inch or two.
Yes. Isn't that the craziest thing? Like, my hair has grown so, like, look at this. Look at this mess. It's just crazy. Like, where did it all come from? You know? I just woke up and this much grew out of nowhere. And it's crazy. I can flip it and do that thing that girls do, you know, flip it. It's just way longer than I've ever seen it in my life. So,
It looks nice.
thank you.
It looks nice. It needs a little bit of fluffing now that it was in that clip. But it looks pretty nice.
Sweet.
Gotta give it some fluffing.
Here we go.
There we go. Daryl says,
Hey, Daryl.
he says, when do you feel, I don't know, do you answer this type of question? When do you see me getting married?
I mean, I feel like for you specifically, that's not the right question. That's not exactly the right question, Daryl. I think that for you, it's not about when are you going to get married. It's not about like who you're going to get married to. It's not about how it happens. It's about your experience towards that person without any actual you trying to go and find that person, you trying to be with that person, you trying to like create the situation that creates marriage. Do you see what I mean? Because the problem is you're racing towards this future instead of experience your current, instead of experiencing your current moment now, and that's robbing you of this now moment. So I think that in a lot of ways it's a much more lonely existence looking for love instead of looking within and finding what you need within so that you can find what you want without. And I think that it's really about, you're not going to necessarily have that moment of marriage and love happen without missing out on so much of your time, and also possibly ending up with someone that you're not supposed to be with. A lot of times when we go searching for it, we find the wrong stuff. Mm-hmm. I would say most of the time that we go searching for it, we find the wrong stuff, and we're always disappointed by it. So then we live in this nebulous cycle of, well, that happened, and that just means that, you know, we're not going to experience anything good new with anyone else because we keep having all these bad experiences, and so that we start to believe that we deserve those bad experiences, and then we start to only seek out those types of experiences and those types of individuals, and that's where we start to really lose ourselves in this kind of endless cycle. Yeah, so what are we, the 5? 8. Okay. Yeah.
So he said,
it's
he
like
said,
literally
yeah,
this
he
card.
said, how will it happen? This is his next question, his follow-up.
I mean, it's only going to happen when you look within. It's only going to happen when you decide to choose you and you decide to stop running. 8 of Cups reverse. This is, you holding on too tightly to this future where you're going to eventually find happiness. We're going to eventually find joy. And when you live in that reality, you totally mess yourself up from experiencing all that you can have right now, which is the love that you need to have for yourself within, so that you can experience it and attract it outside of yourself. It's not gonna, it's the type of love that you're looking for, that long, twin flame type of energy, that's not going to find you until you realize that your insides need some work. You need to go in and you need to address all of the cups in your life that are empty. And that only happens when you decide to take the time to love yourself and to go within. So I think there's a long road ahead of you. But I'm telling you, once you do start to go within, once you do stop running towards other people for that filling of the cup, you're going to find that that person is automatically magnetized to you, just like they are driven by the same reasons to come find you. Or because, how about this, rather that their cup is being filled equally, and that they are being attracted magnetically to you because your cup is being full and being filled. So it's kind of like you simultaneously are filling your own cups together, and by doing so, you magnetically close the gap between you and them while you're doing that. That's kind of how I feel that happens. I don't think that it comes down to, chasing after that person, because that person's not filling their cup, you're not filling theirs, or, yours. So you have a gap, and that gap just doesn't ever go away until you do start looking within. I wish it was a more easy answer, because, that would make this a whole lot more fun to tell you. But I think realistically, it comes down to doing some hard work, and that's holding up a mirror and going, all right, what can I improve on first? It doesn't have to be so scary, but I think that you've got to start looking within so that you can let go of some major aspects of your past, and also some pretty big aspects of your future.
I dated some a pretty interesting variety of people when I was trying to, I was just trying to date for, like, it wasn't even loneliness, it was just that I didn't want to be single anymore. It was just like, I don't want to be single, like, I just want to go, like, oh, I think, I'm ready for love, so I'm just gonna, keep putting myself out there because blah, 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 blah. And I dated a really fun cast of characters.
Yeah, you did.
And then I think I have to say, definitely all of the most meaningful relationships I've ever had have just been when I stopped looking, where I'm like, it'll happen when it happens,
Mm-hmm.
and then it happens.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's, really, really beautiful, because
the stars have aligned, the cups have been filled, the cups like one another. It's good.
It's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's how we met. We weren't looking for one another at all.
Mm-mm.
We met at a concert in Phoenix of a band that I had just heard, literally a month before, that she had grown up with, listening to, Mother Mother. By the way, if anyone likes Mother Mother, shout out. They're so great. Yeah, and that's, that was 10, 11 years ago. 11 years ago? We always do the math and we're always wrong. We never know.
All
right.
Long time ago.
All right, who are we doing next? Thank you so much, Daryl.
Let's see. Rianne said your hair looks nice.
Thank you. It's so much more than I remember having a week ago, so it's a little surprising. But thank you.
Grace said, you look amazing, hon. I love that thick hair. Mine is as thin as spaghetti, lol.
Oh, no. Thank you.
It's finding the perfect balance between the poof and the still being able to manage it. That's the tough part. That's the tough part. Hang on, let me see what else is going on here. Lexton says hello, Cosmic Stars.
Hey, Lexton. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, hello. Allie Bradley says, hi, Lyra, glad you're home.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Allie.
I'm working my way down the list here of people asking questions. Grace said, may I ask a financial question?
Mm-hmm.
Will I be receiving the money that I'm owed soon? I'm feeling anxious with the games of my settlement in the divorce. Thank you.
Absolutely, Grace. Let's see. I mean, I feel this is a very positive card, you know, as far as being free of the chains that bind you. On a traditional tarot deck, the Eight of Swords reversed is depicted as a woman who is blindfolded with her hands behind her back, and she's standing behind 8 swords. Now, however, I want to just remind you that woman is not actually bound. Her hands are not tied behind her. It is the belief that her hands are tied behind her, which keeps her there, which keeps her blindfold on, and keeps her behind her 8 swords. So we have a reversal of that, and we have freedom. So there is a breaking of chains happening, and I would say this definitely is a positive card for financial gains as well. It's breaking free from imposed chains, and it's also breaking free from financial binds that bind you, right? So it's definitely seeing some positive happen here when it comes to the Eight of Swords reverse. So I think you're definitely on the right track to see this happen. I'm not really sure on a timeline. I'm not looking for a timeline, but I do believe this is, whenever it's next coming up as far as the financial settlement goes, whenever that next happens, I do believe that it's going to be a very positive time. That you're going to see some major changes that allow for it feels like breathing, It's like a breath of fresh air. And this is going to free up even more of your mental capacity too. So that's going to allow for more processing. It's going to allow for more relief. It's going to allow for more time with your daughter. It's going to give you an opportunity to have a feeling of more, right? And that's just so great. And it's also going to relieve her as well. So, she's got some heaviness there too. As long as you guys keep talking about how you feel, and keep working as a team on honest communication, then you guys are going to be just fine. So I do think it is a positive coming your way, my dear. Thank you so much for being here, Grace.
She says, thanks on the controlling games to restart again. And she said, oh, that's wonderful to hear. Yes, he was the ball and chain. LOL.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's going to happen every single time that there is a feeling on his end that he is losing control, right? We have a tendency to hold on tighter and grip with more ferocity, when it comes to for those who are, not in the right, will end up acting more ferociously, aggressively, in any way they can to control you, especially pulling out the playbook of what they believe worked in the past to upset you, or what they know of you of the past that upsets you. So they'll bring out any of those past things and they'll try those things again in order to inflict pain or try to create a reaction, right? So at the end of the day, we already know that we don't carry our unnecessary expectations upon these individuals because we know what to expect. We don't need to make ourselves crazy with what we don't understand, because we're just never going to understand it. That's the whole answer. There is no explanation. It's just madness. It's madness for madness's sake. It's Babytown Frolics because it's Babytown Frolics. There is no other reason and there is no other rhyme. So, yeah.
That was Crazy Town.
No, I call it Babytown Frolics.
Babytown.
Yeah, it's from Archer.
I thought it was Crazy Town.
No, he says Babytown Frolics. Because it's the episode about the baby.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Babytown Frolics. That's all I call it that.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like my whole thing. I totally stole that from Archie, but I don't care because I still sound great saying it. Anyway.
Grace said, yes, exactly. I have no fear and moving on. Thank you once again, huh?
Absolutely, yeah. And I will get back to you. I was like totally exhausted last night. I'm still pretty tired, but I did get your message, so I will get back to you soon. All right, thank you, Grace, for being here. And Sphera, I hope you are doing well. You know, you might want to get some selenite. Selenite is great to clear your energy. It's great. I have selenite everywhere I go. It's usually in all of my tarot decks. So make sure you get some selenite, Selenite.
Lexington said, yes, looking within is the best for our own and others' happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And Rianne said, OMG, dating is so draining these days, and my attitude is if it happens, it happens.
Absolutely, and we appreciate your guys' comments. Thank you so much. I think that's a really cool idea for you guys to talk and interject with about like what the reading is. Yeah, absolutely. So we can build more of a team. I want you guys to get to know each other. I want us to create more of a community. We're making baby steps to make this happen even more. So please, if you guys are up for that, if you like that idea, let us know. You know, because I just think it would be awesome to create a space with awesome people who are awesome, who like to hang out with other awesome people. That's kind of like my whole thing.
Yeah, and Allie Bradley sent us 20 stars.
Thank you, Allie. Appreciate it.
Really appreciate that.
Is Allie on Facebook?
On Facebook.
Thank you, Allie. Appreciate it.
And Grace said, hun, please look after yourself first. And then she said, okay, we'll get selenite today.
Yes, get some selenite. If you can get a selenite lamp, those are like the best. But I'm not really sure what kind of stores you've got in Australia, but if you can find one that lights up, that's like even better because then you're massively clearing the whole space. And that feels really good. Did we find our? I hope we found ours. That'd be cool.
I did not come across it yet.
Oh, okay.
TikTok says
Have you guys noticed any technical difficulties? Row?
My computer just turned itself to airplane mode for no reason.
Okay, so like this. Have you guys noticed any technical
I didn't push any buttons.
issues? You looked at it funny, and it's in Mercury season. That's the whole thing. You just gave it that side-eye stank. Voila! Technology is kaput.
Okay, I'm back on. Wait.
How did that happen?
I don't know. It just turned itself on airplane mode.
You gotta talk to it nice. You gotta treat it kind.
Okay. Alright, so with that being said, Rosemary, I want to answer your question because we were coming back to you, and there was another person who was in the room with you, but everything got erased. So the other person I was talking to, I can see her photo little thing in her head, but I can't remember her name right now. If you're still
go ahead and reach back out on TikTok.
On TikTok.
Sorry, TikTok.
Yeah, I was just literally coming back to you, and my computer.
And guys, don't forget, we are going to be giving away that 15-minute free reading at the end of this. We'll go ahead and release it on the platforms, let you guys all know who won this time. And we'll go from there.
So
what's her question?
What? So there's no question yet.
Oh, I thought there was on TikTok.
Yeah. No. Well, there was right before the page reset itself. No one from YouTube says, is Eight of Swords, is it positive in finance?
If it's, are we talking about upright or reverse? Because if it's upright, as far as finance goes, no. It's, that would mean that you might be in with a partnership that is controlling or blinding you, or you may be blinding yourself from the truth in that partnership. You can be having struggles or difficulties when it comes to, contracts or delayed projects. You could have a lot of communication issues with projects and contracts as well. But if it's reversed, it's kind of like the releasing of all that, right? Because the Eight of Swords is binding. We have binding contracts. We have also self-imposed limitations. So when it's reversed, we have the opposite of that. Or we have the fact that there was conflict and now we've moved into open, honest communication, which has allowed for the transformation of that energy. And now we have less conflict and no binding. We have a sense of freedom and like openness that will come with that financial burden, whatever it was. So, I mean, if it's upright, I would say you're looking at not really being all that positive, but if it's reversed, it's a lot more positive for sure.
My next question is, I was going to get Feline Michelle. She said you're asking for a card, and I just asked her whether or not she wanted to do like a general.
Yeah, you guys can go ahead and ask whatever questions you want. Just know that life and death questions are the most challenging that I've seen spirit guides answer. If you stick around in the room, we will try to get to as many people as we can. We're going to stay on for a while longer. So hang out. If you've got something that you'd like answered that's important, just stick around.
Rianne Mullins says, is my next chapter coming? I'm needing a change, please and thank you.
Absolutely. Hey, hon. Rianne?
Yeah, it's, I don't remember what it's Rianne.
Rianne. Hey, Rianne. Thanks for joining. Is that on which camera?
Facebook.
Okay, Facebook. Hey, Rianne. Let's see what's going on. I know what you mean. It's been a rough couple of months, guys. Since that total solar eclipse, I bet not one of the peoples in this room can say that they have not experienced a total new beginning or change in some major areas or all of the major areas of their lives right now. So it has been exhausting. Let's take a look, Rianne, and see what's going on in your world. Okay, well, this is great. Are we, cups, okay. All right, awesome. So I do see that change coming. Now, this is still with the mindset that we are moving in the direction to make change happen. But I do see it absolutely happening for you. Because anytime you see, well, I wouldn't say anytime. I'd say most of the time that you see a horse or some mode of transportation on a tarot card, it usually means action, movement, change, dynamic energy coming. So because we see this knight, I would say it kind of just excludes, like, I wouldn't necessarily say that for the Knight of Coins. Knight of Coins is more patient and more practical, pragmatic. This is more following what feels best. What feels right to you is going to be the right direction to go into. And keep going in that direction, right? Because we have whatever brings you joy or emotional fulfillment is the direction that we need to head into. And you already know the path that you're going on right now is right for you because you've been following it. You know, you've been following your heart, you've been following your intuition, and you've been trusting in your guides, trusting in your pathway, trusting in your destiny. So look, it's tough right now. I think that what's best for you, just like anyone that's struggling right now, I recommend journaling. I recommend journaling, not in your digital phones, because that is dead space. That is not the physical reality. We want to journal in real space. Writing down our thoughts is a phenomenal way to understand our own patterns and break through barriers that we don't have to have. It's self-imposing, right? When we decide that we're limited, we're limited. So this is you seeking balance in what you already know. So keep going in the direction that you're going in. Things are going to change soon. I would even say that right now is a really great time to manifest if you're trying to specifically create something for this month. We did just have the new moon in Gemini yesterday. So now is still a great time, especially because we have Venus is in a major trine until like, I think the 8th of this month. So it's still a really great time to manifest and get things done. If you guys are looking for any spell casting or any candle work, you can always reach us and we'd be happy to get things going for you. We do a lot of energy work and it's been just so phenomenal and fun to see all the changes we've been able to help others make. It's been really rewarding. And candles are like $44. So if you're interested, go ahead and hit us up at Tarot with Lyra Moon, where you can also get a free 1-card reading if you fill out the contact form. So make sure to check that out at tarotwithlyramoon.com.
So we got Rosemary's question.
Mm-hmm.
Her question is, do I need to let Eric go? He's my current partner. We've been together for 9.5 years.
Oof.
It's a long time.
That is a very long time. This is Anna Marie.
This is Rosemary.
Rosemary.
From
My
TikTok.
apologies. Rosemary. Thank you for being here. And I know that is a waffle of a question that you've got there, honey. That is a lot of feelings and a lot of big time in the brain to get to this conclusion. Wow. Well, we have a really big answer for your really big question. So Wheel of Fortune. I think that that there has been nothing you haven't done. There has been nothing that you haven't tried. There has been nothing that you wouldn't still try. But unfortunately, he's just not willing to reach back. He's not reaching back. And I think that at the end of the day, it comes down to, are you happy? And the answer keeps coming back, no, you're not. But the weight, the chains that wrap themselves around that particular no. They keep us in place, they keep us still, they keep us trying. And if you are not happy, if you are not experiencing the type of joy that you are expecting, and you've done everything that you can think of, and it's still not working, then there needs to be some things that change. I think that it's a good idea to maybe sit down with yourself one last time and weigh out the pros and cons of leaving this relationship. If you need more clarity, if you need more help, you can always reach out and do a simple reading to get a look into fully better understanding the pros and cons of this whole thing from a spiritual point of view.
She says, I'm not happy. I know I deserve better, but it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, when you're with someone for that long, I think the craziest thing that I learned was that thing about,
the brain thing.
The brain. So when you're with someone for long enough, I don't remember what the time was, but there's a certain number of years, and it was a shorter amount of time than what I thought, but I think it was definitely less than 10.
I think it was less than 10
years,
like
for sure.
6 or 7 or something.
So, basically, your brain creates new neural pathways that it creates new neural pathways with the idea that this person is always going to be in your existence, in your life. And so, even when things get really hard, and there's a big part of you that's why am I still even here? This doesn't even make sense. Even if your friends or your family are going, yeah, it's time for you to move on. But then there's this part of you that's wait, no, I can't do that. It's this person. Realistically, they found out that your brain is actually rewires itself to somebody else's presence. Mm-hmm. So the idea of them no longer being a part of your life is an actual, your brain's going, no, which is another reason why, breakups can be so hard and so painful, even when you know that in the long run you're going to be better. Mm-hmm. That part of your brain has to reconcile this actual internal structure that it created, that person was going to be a permanent fixture. So yeah, it's you're
tough. Battling a lot of different elements.
Yeah, it's not just it's not just emotional. It's not just a spiritual, mental connection with another human being. It's your actual brain too. Yeah. So,
and so when you have such an enormous amount of everything else against you, but you're internally not happy with the situation, then my gosh, it is like having to relearn how to exist. What does that look like? Having to take down, like, having to do all of that is so much extra than you would have ever imagined. But it does look like that's the wheel of destiny. That's a wheel of fortune. It is the motion of your heart's and your soul's desire. You want nothing more than to be happy, and unfortunately, you just can't change. You just can't change our partner. So we can lead them to the water. But if they don't want to take a bath and they just want to keep smelling bad, it's like their whole prerogative. You can't necessarily get them to clean themselves up. They're just going to keep stinking. That sucks. Smelly people.
She said there have been multiple times I've tried to let go, but I can never stick to it. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So
you need to come up with
kids.
a plan. You need to come up with a full-on plan. I would recommend going on and using chat in this moment, using ChatGPT. Go on and ask it to give you an outline on how best to, what steps you can take to effectively break off this relationship in a healthy and, legal and safe way for both you and your kids. How to do it financially, all the steps that you need to take. Because sometimes all we need is the outline. Sometimes that's what we need. And when we don't have the outline, we just say, screw it, we just don't do it. But if you're unhappy, and if that unhappiness is going to just continue to fester onto the kids, then it needs to be handled in one way or another. And that's what I would recommend. I would recommend anyone go and get an outline for anything that they need a serious, some serious help with, and check that out on chat. But I would also be mindful too, like, this is something that we wanted to talk with you guys about at some, maybe next week. We'll start that with, this Monday. Talking to you guys about how to sense your own spirituality through also learning how to use AI and using it, to help you, while being mindful that it can very easily become a tool that is manipulated against you. So once you know the pros and cons of all that, and we'll talk about that on Monday.
Either manipulated against you or just artificially unintelligent, or is unintelligent a word?
Unintelligent? Yeah,
See,
no.
I can't even, but just like the stuff that was going on with Google and the kids.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Pizza and
Yeah.
all that stuff. So it's like, we live in a time where, it might be purposeful or it might not. So,
Yeah.
But in general, ChatGPT is kind of a good thing for just generalities. Like, if you're just like, hey,
how can I be a better communicator?
Yeah. Or
how can I solve for X on this relationship issue? Like, it's good for things like that, and it's good for giving structures. Yeah.
Rosemary said, thank you very much. That was more helpful than expected. I needed that card.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us today. Don't forget, guys, make sure to follow and like so that you guys can stay tuned, because we'll be bringing you free readings every Friday at 3 p.m. And we'll be doing the elemental emotional weather forecast for you on Mondays at 3 p.m. Pacific at the same time, giving you guys a forecast of what's happening through your week. And then Wednesday coming back at the same time, 3 p.m. Pacific, to give you guys strategies, tips, and tricks on how to overcome those particular tools that you've been given on Monday's reading. So take a look, come back, make sure to follow so that you guys don't miss any beat, okay? All right, and where are we going next?
We got Just Leanne, because now that I got TikTok back up and running again.
Okay, good.
I asked her to post her question. So she said, I'm not currently liking my job at the moment. Should I seek a new job?
Yeah, anytime you're in a situation that brings you less than the emotional fulfillment that you know that you deserve or want, then it is at that moment where no matter what, it's time to step forward into something new. Just take time to look while you're still there. Don't jump ship without having a solid netting. But I do feel that, oh, wow. Well, there it is. Wheel of Fortune again. So, and I love this card because it doesn't really come out too often. So, I think it is a great idea to, winds of change, listen to them. If your heart is being called to something that you are unsure of or scared about, then go learn everything you can about that particular thing you want to dive into. I'm telling you that so much of the time we deny ourselves the things that we want just because we are unsure of them. Like, that is so dumb. Don't do that to yourself. Like, just go learn about the thing. Go learn about it, go better understand it, and then go jump in, you know? And you're going to find a heck of a lot of happiness there. I do think that there is good opportunity out there for whatever you're trying to look for, whatever you're trying to gain, whatever you're trying to, like, if you want to go and get a job that has better pay, you're, like, totally set to go do that. Everything is kind of in your favor right now. So I would say go make it happen, make yourself happier with the choices that you're making, as far as making sure that you come first. If you aren't happy with where you are, then that's enough to say that it's time to leave. We can only be the source of happiness for other people for so long before we have to decide we too matter. Okay, so this is a you too matter. Go and make something new for yourself. All right, thank you so much for being here.
Quick bonus question from her. Also, I'm currently sort of seeing someone. Should I allow myself to trust this person and the feelings I've been developing?
Well, I think, again, that goes with, does it feel right? Does it feel right, honey? Ask yourself that question and then go in which direction feels right, okay? Cliffhanger!
We also, just a reminder, we do free readings every Friday.
Yeah.
Trying to do them every Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, so come on back. Next
or get a private session.
Oh, yeah.
That too. That is also
an option.
Mm-hmm.
Got Nemo on here.
Awesome. We found you. What up, Nemo?
She said, what time zone are we in?
We are in Pacific. We are in California.
I believe this person is somebody that you already work with, but I'm not 100% sure. I think we both worked with this person, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
But the picture is so small I can't really see. And I think I do this a handful of times. I've done this before. But
all right.
They're asking for a card. What would you like your card to be about there?
Yeah,
sir?
you can ask whatever questions you guys would like. You can also follow and like us, would be appreciated. And yeah, whatever you'd like to throw in on the table. We're going to try to get to as many people as possible. So stick around, stay tuned, and we'll get to you as soon as we're going back and forth between each platform.
Allie Bradley says, will I marry again?
Hey, Allie. I mean, my answer is always gonna be, it's yes. It's just about where you are right now. Right now, you may be questioning whether or not you ever want to touch that big bad thing called love again, but at the same time, you're like poking at it with a stick, and you're going, yeah, all right, I might give that a shot again. But it comes down to what you feel. If you, if that's something you want. I think it first needs a lot of time. There needs to be some more time spent on giving yourself what you need. Oh. All right, well, okay. So we've got the double reversed. I mean, you let go of a huge, big, bad, ugly relationship that was toxic and had not good feelings in it. I mean, it was... So I would say you deserve, something that makes you not feel like a prisoner, makes you not feel trapped, makes you not feel badly about yourself. This is feeling really crappy about you. This is feeling really like you don't deserve. And that's not realistic, So I think that there's going to be a need and a great time for healing. We need to go inward for that self-reflection. I'm telling you that. When you do that, when you have time to give yourself and you give yourself the opportunity to heal, to love yourself, to repair the wounds of what someone else may have laid down in you, then you give yourself the opportunity to really meet someone that can, nurture all of that healing that you're doing. But the first thing you want to do is not run into another relationship before you've given yourself the time to heal. Because if you do that, you're going to be bringing in all of the old wounds and layering that onto a new relationship without the other person having any idea and without you even knowing. You're not going to know, until like 2 years go by, and then you're looking at all these scars that seem awfully familiar and you don't know how they got there, So there's a definite need to just slow the roll, to pay attention to your own self, to giving yourself, love and respect, time and energy. This is going to allow for an opening of, the you that you are missing, okay? So I think fall in love with yourself first, and then you will find, if you want, you will find someone who is fulfilling that same cup on the other end, if that is indeed what you want. But I think for now, just focus on you. Just don't even, it's too much energy. It's too much energy, and you need to heal so that you can have more energy to not feel so stuck, okay? All right, thank you, my dear.
She said you're right. Tim says, Tim wanted had a question.
Mm-hmm.
His question was, my relationship, what should I do? You know, a little more, Tim Harris?
Mm-hmm. Okay. It definitely feels like you're stuck. It definitely feels like you feel that you have an obligation to fulfill, to meet a contract of some sort, to staying. Yeah. Yeah. So, but the problem is you trade in every aspect of who you are when you decide to stay because of other people. Like, the problem is like you're trading in your kindness, your leadership skills, your clarity. You're trading in your drive and your focus, your desire for more. You're trading in all different aspects of your ability to communicate effectively. It's coming out as resentment and anger, frustration and despair. And that's what you trade in. So it's like, yeah, you can be there. You can be all these things to these people and this relationship and this experience. You can be all that, but you can't be all that and be the real you at the same time. When we trade in a part of our happiness for the sake of someone else's, we also are bargaining with bigger emotions and bigger aspects of who we are. And excuse me, and a lot of times we don't even realize it. We don't even know that that's happening until we turn around and 10 years have gone by and we don't even recognize ourselves anymore because we're this angry monster that didn't ever speak our truth, that didn't ever open up, that just kind of allowed for things to be as they are, and we're freaking miserable and we're totally unhappy, and it's coming out at all of the people that it shouldn't. And it's all because we didn't jump in and take charge, take action of our own lives, of our own happiness. Look, you are the emperor, right? But the problem is the emperor can be either a really great leader or a total dictator and a tyrant. And that is a really harsh reality, but it's true. It's you can go to one or the other. And I think that it would be much better to be remembered as the emperor, someone who stood up for what they needed and felt and wanted with conviction and honesty and strength, rather than someone who ruled, a relationship, a household with dishonest intentions and not pure of heart, because you're also impacting the lives of those around you, and it's not really the impact that you want to leave behind. Sometimes the hardest thing that we can do is be honest with how we feel. I would say again, have a plan, figure out what exactly needs to happen so that all of this can happen. The breakup, the leaving the house, the letting it go can all happen effectively in order for you to be happy, because if you don't have that plan, you're never going to leave, and you're always going to find reasons to stay, and those reasons are always going to be bigger than your actual heart's calling, and you're going to become more and more bitter as time goes by That bitterness is really hard to break free of. So I have empathy, a lot of respect for where you are right now, because it's a tough lesson. It's a really tough lesson. But if you don't choose yourself, you'll be, in a sense, you'll be lost. You'll be losing out on you for however long you stay. So it is choice time. It's a big decision.
Yeah, seems like things are wearing me out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Tim, for dropping in. Appreciate it.
Nemo would like a general.
All right. Let's check it out, Nemo. See what's up. Nemo's on which one? TikTok?
Facebook.
Facebook. All right.
Oh, wait, no, wait. Wait, no.
No. Wait, no. No,
No.
wait, no.
TikTok.
TikTok. All right.
Oh, we also have him on Facebook.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But he's on TikTok right now.
All right, right, meow. Queen of Wands reversed for you, Nemo. Okay, so in general, we are rebuilding ourselves. We're finding our drive. We're also finding how we want to fit in life. Okay, this is the feeling of like restructuring how others perceive us, and how we take our role within an archetypal society. So there's a role that you're playing, there's a role that you're experiencing that has been broken, or like an illusion of it has been broken. Something about that role needs to change. Something about that archetype is no longer fitting how you feel and how you want to be, how you want to be perceived in it. There's a huge change coming, and it has a lot to do with following your heart, figuring out what matters most to you, what you really want. And until you do that, you're going to keep feeling disconnected. You're going to feel uncertain. You're going to feel insecure. So we have to connect with what drives us, what gives us action, what gives us motivation. And sometimes it means going back to the heart of things. What was the original reason you got into this particular role that brought you happiness, that made you feel joy? And what are the problems that you're having now with this particular role? And once you have a better understanding from an observant point of view of these two things, then you can figure out and solve for X how to solve these problems on a bigger scale. Of course, if you need a little bit more guidance, you can always reach out and do a reading. If you fill out a contact form on our website, Tarot with Lyra Moon, you can get a free reading. So please make sure to do that if you haven't done so already. We'd love to have you.
Next, I'm gonna grab Latasha.
Latasha, hey, what's up?
How does my lover Miami feel about me?
How does my love, what?
My lover's name is Miami.
Oh, cool.
How does Miami feel about me?
I
Is
like that.
Latasha's question.
Okay, Latasha, let's see. What platform?
Facebook.
Okay. All right. Hey, Facebook. Let's see. All right. So we have the Queen of Swords reversed. I feel like there is a lot that they feel they don't fully know about you. They feel like there's a lot here that may be hidden, or that you're secretive about. I feel like there are communication barriers happening. There are communication blocks. There are things that you're maybe holding back on, things that you might not even know or be aware of, that are coming up, that are blocking your communication, that are stopping your ability to fully connect with one another. So I would have some open and honest dialogue here, right? Because there's this just a sense of uncertainty, a sense of like, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. And all of these I don't knows add up to needing to have a deeper conversation about maybe what the expectations are, what the hopes are for the future, what you guys are both wanting, where you're coming from. Okay, because there is some doubt. doubt, unknowing, uncertainty, and that's not a fun place to be. So figure out a way of how you want to communicate this. Maybe you want to be more thorough and thoughtful about how you talk about this, maybe finding the right time to do so, or when your partner's in a better mood. You know, these are also moments to kind of like seize your opportunity to have this conversation about like what are some things that we can work on to enhance our communication. You know, maybe you guys need to do like a weekly check-in to make sure that you guys are on the right page. If you guys are having a lot of conflict, maybe it's a good idea to figure out, you know, okay, let's have a powwow every Sunday night and talk about the issues of this week, what we can do better, and what solutions we have, and what we're looking forward to planning out for next week. So give yourself an opportunity to kind of see things from a different perspective, and don't rush in with any emotion, you know, because when we need to know the full story here. We need to find a way to convey this message without it being misunderstood. Be my best answer for that one. All right, thank you, Latasha, so much for being here. Appreciate it so much.
It looks like we're kind of slowing down on here now. We've got a question for Sunny on TikTok.
Hey, Sunny.
It says, me and my ex Shane broke up, and I was wondering if we're ever going to get back together again.
Okay, let's see, Sunny. That heartbreak can make you guessing, make you wonder. All right, so we have the Chariot. I mean, I feel like it's going to be more of a no on this one. Your guides are saying no, because this is more about you being on a specific path and him being on a specific path. You both are coming into balance, are finding harmony in what you've created. And I think that there is a possibility, I'm not going to say there's not a possibility, but there is a possibility. But I would say by the time that happens, you both might turn more into a friendship situation, where that could be something that happens for excuse me, a period of time. Because I'm not really seeing this pull right now for you guys to be together, but you both are thinking about one another, and that will eventually, I think, turn into like a long-standing friendship. But I'm not currently seeing the energy of getting back together. All right, my dear, thanks so much for being here. I hope that was helpful. Guys, don't forget to follow and subscribe, and that's the same thing. Following and subscribing is the same thing.
I think you could say both, because one is on like
YouTube.
on different platforms, use different words, right? So you can say it, right?
I guess so.
So do both of those things, because you're supporting us on both platforms. Latasha said, could you repeat mine? I didn't know you were reading for me. We are, thankfully, since you're on Facebook, this does get reposted.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been on...
Does it let you know how long we've been on for? What time is it? We would know. What time?
It's 4:15 right now. We started at around like 5, a little bit like between like 3:03-ish.
Yeah,
so it would be about an hour in like 12-ish minutes.
Or less.
Yeah. So it takes like, I think once we press like the end live button, it takes like a little bit to process, and then it'll post.
Mm-hmm.
So you can totally go back and re-listen.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be it.
All right, guys.
Everybody said thank you, by the way.
Yeah, you guys are so welcome.
Thank you. And
I'm glad that was helpful for you guys. And yeah, we're just extra tired. Just been sleepy, so
it's getting the lighting is getting darker.
The lighting's getting darker. I'm getting more sleepy. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining us. We hope you have a beautiful weekend ahead, and we will go ahead and announce a winner on all of the platforms after we have ended the live. See, I can't even brain. I'm just so excited. We're gonna go swimming. We're gonna get out of this heat. We're gonna just chill.
Thank you, everybody.
We're gonna have a great weekend. We hope you guys have a great one too, and we'll see you guys all back here on Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific for more tarot, more insights, and more fun. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one. Bye for now. Bye for now. Gonna make some credit.